Hi, I'm Cash, and welcome back to Cash Talks Football. This is where I break down all the goals scored in the Premier League. Using my over 20 plus years of coaching experience, I give you different insights into the game that you may not hear from the idiots on TV, and the people that don't actually know anything about the game of football that they've played most of their life. Right, today we're breaking down Newcastle against Luton, and there's some interesting goals in this game because they actually mirror each other, and they seem to make the same sort of errors in both. Well, we'll get onto that in a minute. I'm just going to show you this first goal. I had to watch this back a couple of times because it's just kind of bizarre to me how this can end up happening. The ball gets played. It was a long. I actually kind of like those balls. I've mentioned that before. Long raking ball, and it goes out wide here. And there's no real pressure on the ball here, and they let Kieran Trippier kind of do what he wants out on the side here. And it's Kieran Trippier. He's probably the best deliverer of the ball on their team. So you want to get on him and you want to stop him being able to cross the ball or do anything. So let's watch what ends up happening as we move this forward. Look, he has a bit of a touch. Guy's coming over to see him. I want to show you this as well, though. He does have a look. Look at that. We've got a defender in the Premier League looking to see what's behind him and whether or not the ball's going to get played in behind him and whether or not he can pressure the ball. So now he knows he can go pressure the ball because there's no one else around him and he can actually put some pressure on this to stop the cross. However, this is where it gets all a bit weird for me, right? So we're looking at this here. For some reason, we've got 2v1 here in the middle, and that's allowed to happen. He's fine. Don't mind that. He needs to come in and see his mate. See, this is what I talk about people not being able to play football. He's not, number 7's clearly not a right back because it's not a right back's number. But he can see that his mate's in trouble and he needs to get in here and help. Now, the goal doesn't come here, but it comes from this guy over here. But we'll talk about that in a minute. But this sort of, I don't know, just laziness of not being able to play for the team. I can't stand that. Get in there. Your mate's in trouble. There's the 2v1. You can see it. Get in there and try to help. And what I mean get in there is because then you can try to keep some sort of shape and system. Get in there. So you have 1, 2, just like you'd normally do, and the guy out there. But we're going to keep an eye on the pressure on the ball out here because it doesn't seem to come. Look, he almost jumps out the way of it. Do you see that? He jumps out the way of the ball. Now, does he really? No, but you can see what he's trying to do because he's not really putting any pressure on. So, bump, right there. He needs to get closer and get onto that guy, and he doesn't. Bump. There we go. It's completely and utterly nowhere near putting pressure on to stop this cross. And this is going, honestly, it's a quality ball. It is right into this space here. And we can see these guys going on. But there's 2 guys here. And they have to be stronger. But can you see, well, I want this guy tucking in here. Okay, he's not involved. But I still want you to go and do your job because it's good football. Doesn't do it. As it comes across here, these 2 defenders have to be stronger and stop this Newcastle player getting to the ball. And they don't. Can you excuse this guy going with the run? Yeah, you can excuse him being, marking the player and going with the run. Why? Because the ball's a little bit deeper. So he goes with the player thinking it's going to be a near post cross. Completely acceptable. Can't yell at you. But I might do it later anyway, just because. And it's a tidy finish. Really? No, it's kind of scuffy. But there's not enough. To me, those defenders need to be stronger and stop that challenge. This is an interesting goal, actually. I was going to do an analysis on all the Arsenal goals and point out why all the idiots thinking that they need a striker are completely and utterly stupid. Generally, what I normally do is when the media say a thing, I just basically flip it, say the opposite, and chances are it's right. And the reason why Arsenal aren't scoring as many goals, I was looking back at their last season. This is a goal that Arsenal was scoring a lot of last season. And they're in the box, knockbacks, right? And this is perfect. This is look. First off, I'm going to yell like I always do about the line being too high. Why is that important? Well, because you're given the extra space. Guys, drop back, drop back. So then what happens is they can't put a looping ball in behind you. And it's going to be in front of the line. So then the line can run out and clear the ball. This habit of doing this is absolutely stupid in the Premier League. The amount of free kicks that have been scored from people playing high lines and the ball gets played in because now all the defenders, remember, are backpedaling. All the defenders are running towards their goal. Bump. There's the goal, boys and girls. And not away from the goal. If you start with a deep line, yeah, you can get out easier, put them offside. You can make sure that if the ball goes anywhere near past that line, the keeper's got a chance to come out and get it. Right here, he's isolated. He's not even being used. He can't do anything. He's in no man's land. It's just stupid. So when they play this ball in, bosh. Now look, all the defenders are facing their own goal. So it's easier for for Luton to actually try to get on any contact onto the ball. But this is the sort of goals that Arsenal were scoring a lot of last season, when they just knock it over into the area or knock it across and then somebody else gets to the finish. Newcastle, I don't know what they're doing, letting 2 basic free headers go in the box. Just unacceptable. Let's get on to the next goal. This is one of those goals by the way, that Newcastle score one and Luton score one with the exact same things happening in the game. It's kind of strange. But there's just a ball for a guy just to go run onto and show his pace, and he does. I'm going to go forward a little bit because it's hard to do the transitions on the old YouTube. They do hit me with the old copyright. So let's move this forward. This wee man here has absolutely done the Luton player for pace. And the reason he's done that is because he did put a little bit of a shimmy down on the halfway line just to get him wrong-footed and go. But then he ends up beating him again here to get the shot off, which I'm not quite happy about. Defender, to his credit, he is trying hard to get back. Here he is, he's got back. His body shape is just slightly wrong though. I'll tell you why. Because there's his shoulders, donk, and his head's facing that way, and he needs just to be a little bit more that way, donk, with his head facing that way. Bump. And oh, look at that, we're zooming in, and we still don't know how I do that. Got no idea how I do that at all. But yeah, so that foot needs to be back just a little bit, so he's more shoulder square, so he can't easily cut inside like that. Because if he did, he could make a challenge. He can't. And this is the same thing that Luton's getting almost identical goal to this. So when the shot comes in, the keeper makes a little deflection, bosh. But it's not great. Like, he doesn't get it away. He doesn't get it. He just puts it straight back into the danger area. And someone else mops up. Takes a touch. Yeah, that's because he's not good enough. Bush. And then he slots it in. Let's look at the goal. It's almost identical. And I know what you're all going to say. It's not the same. The guy ran through on the midfield on his own. No. See, that's what you're wrong. It is the same. It's all the same attributes happening. Is there a guy running the ball down the middle? Well, down the field? Yes. Is he getting stopped? No. Do they get a free shot off? Yes. Does the keeper make a ricochet? Yes. Does someone follow that in? Yes. It's all identical. Right, so this guy actually does quite well. Bullies his way through the middle of Newcastle. A little bit too easy, to be fair. Gets the ball wide. Guy has a little bit of a look. Hits it at the keeper, takes a little bit of a deflection off there, but it's the same thing. Keeper doesn't get really enough purchase on it, doesn't get it out anywhere, because similar to the last goal that we just showed, and he puts it in the net box. He takes the same 2 touches as well, if you see. But there we go. Very similar goals. Let's get on to the next one. This is a penalty. You know I normally don't go over these, but this is a VAR decision, and I don't think they got it right. Let me just show you this here. This guy gets done for pace. Bosh, I think it's Dan Burn on the outside here. This is where the contact starts, initially happening out here. There's no real foul, though. Contact doesn't make a foul, and I can't stand that every time someone gets touched in the penalty box, all the fans go, "Oh, my team needs a penalty." It's not a foul. So let's have a look and see where we can see where they're saying it's a foul, and is it inside or outside the box? See, this is where it gets subjectical to me. Remember, on the line is in the box, but his torso's in the box as well. The contact actually starts happening just before he's outside the box. So to me, it's really, really tight. And I don't know if that's enough to give a penalty. I don't. Has he pulled him back? Yeah. Has he gone down too easy? Yeah. It's just too easy for him to go down. But there we go. Where he ends up, he's really, really, milking it. But here's the issue. You've seen that, if you saw the, was it Chelsea-Liverpool game when Van Dijk touched someone and they said it was not a penalty? Well, it was about as much contact as this one. What was was there a Man United one the other day that they didn't get? And there was just about as much contact as this one. But now, this one, they're giving the penalty for. And that's why I can't stand. Like, if you're going to give them, you give them all. I just want consistency, because that, to me, it's so weak. Wee man steps up, does a little stutter step just before the kick. Kind of sends the keeper the wrong way. Dosh, easy penalty. Let's get on to the next goal. Don't know how Newcastle seem to be in this situation, but they just seem to be not very defensively minded at all in this game. Or Luton's just tearing them apart, because there's a simple ball. Well, they're on the counter attack again, but there's a simple ball played across right here, and there's no Newcastle players anywhere close to putting in the challenge or stopping anything right by the 18-yard box. So yeah. That's to me is just ridiculous. But of course, as we start moving this forward, we're going to watch what's going to happen. Someone's going to point their arm. Look at that in the Premier League. As soon as some idiot tells someone else what to do the job, what happens in the next couple of seconds? The other team scores a goal. Always. Stop telling people what to do. You either go and cover him or you go and get to the ball. Stop telling your teammate what to do. I'm telling you that right now, because I'll tell you what's really going on. Is this guy's watching the ball. He's now getting yelled at by this guy to go and cover for that guy. No. What's happening in this situation, he needs to stay on point on that ball, because that's where his eyes are locked. If this guy had a half a brain, he would be going around to cover for this guy here, not trying to win the ball, because you can look at that teammate, you can just look at his body shape, look at his intensive, eyes on that ball. Yeah, brilliant. I'm going to go and cover that guy there. Don't tell him to go and do it, because what ends up happening, You run into your mate who was trying to win the ball, and now you look like an absolute clown because he hasn't heard you or even paid any attention to the guy over there, which you could have seen because you were seeing it, Bush, because you told him to go and mark him. Now he's over there and he just gets an easy slot in because you're both idiots. Yep, that just happened. We've got multiple things going wrong here. From this little pass in, came from this little wee man here. There's no pressure whatsoever on the ball. And we've got a guy sneaking here on the blind side. And number 9 is just going to sleep right here. Completely unacceptable at this level. Bosch, now he tries to go. It's Kieran Trippier, mate. He's not exactly fast. You should be able to get a touch on this. Quality of the ball's not bad, mind. But also, you're giving him 2 yards ahead of you to get in behind you, and then you're shocked that he's actually managed to finish the ball into the bottom corner. That's just not good enough. Not if you want to win the game of football. Okay, I'm always the first one to say that's not a foul play on. I actually think this is a foul right here. Don't know why the ref doesn't give it. They should have looked it back. Like Bosch, he clears the player out. He's not trying to play the ball. He's done him. He's done him right over. And the ref's right there. I don't know how he's not given that as a free kick. And then, of course, they end up going and scoring from it. How is that not a free kick, ref? I'd love someone to explain it to me. Or is it because he's touched the ball? Let's have a look. I don't think he does. He just hip checks the guy. I've tried to find some other angles. It doesn't really look like... Honestly, it just looks like a hip check. Even if he does touch the ball, he's still stopped... or the word impeded him from carrying on trying to play the ball afterwards. It's definitely a free kick. Don't know why the ref's letting that one go. Got to give some credit to the guy on the ground though. He keeps trying to play. But here's my other issue. You've got one person that's paying attention. One right here. Look. One. Dosh. One. One seeing the danger. One actually trying to move. He's frozen. All these guys here. All frozen. All frozen. Let's watch. Bosh. All frozen. One guy saw it. One guy read what was happening, and he's trying to do something about it and get in there as quick as he can. He's still fighting with him. I don't know what you're doing, mate. You could have probably got there quicker than him. He started over here. But next thing we know, Dosh feeds it into that same bottom corner again. 4-4. Overall, I don't know if it's a bad result for Luton. I think Luton are going to surprise a couple of people coming near the end here. I thought they were dead certain to go down. Maybe they'll pick up some more points in the second half of the season. I was listening to their manager talk about that, and I was listening to people criticising him about it. And it's like, well, of course he's going to pick up more points by the end of the season. But in the second half of the season, because he knows how people play. He knows what the structures are. He knows how to counteract all those other teams. He knows which one of his players can't match up against certain other players in certain teams. But yeah. But there we go. I'll see you next time on Cash Talks Football.